Spain had a fairly awful World Cup run, getting kicked out in penalties by Morocco in the round of 16, really hoping that they would move forward, unfortunately unable to find it. This time around, our tactic success is going to deal with Spain and with Luis Enrique. Let's take a look. This is the 4-3-3 Luis Enrique España tactic. It is, again, one that I saw in the Steam Workshop. The images looked really interesting. I've been a big Luis Enrique fan, as much as I can be, but wanted to see what this 4-3-3 would be like. I do have to do a couple more two strikers up top, so I apologize for that. I've got to find some good ones. They're really not a lot out there, unfortunately, right now from last time I checked. But this is the 4-3-3 Luis Enrique España tactic. And as you can see, it did not work well in the Premier League. This is no transfers. We're going back to no transfers for this one. But Manchester United in 6th with 18, 8, and 12, 62 points. Nottingham Forest just above relegation and not by a lot, by goal differential alone. 7, 12, and 19, 33 points. And Brentford relegated with 8, 9, and 21, 33 points. And as you can see, right up here, Fulham with 33 points too. Not a big difference in these four positions right here. But Brentford relegated, Nottingham Forest saving their skin. The tactic itself is fairly standard 4-3-3. You got a sweeper keeper in support. You got a wing back on the left in attack, a fullback in defend. Yeah, so this is definitely made more for the Spanish team and not for just in general plug and play tactic. Two central defenders on defend, a DM on support, two advanced player makers, one on support on the left, one in attack on the right, inverted winger on support on the left, a winger in attack on the right, and a false 9 in support centrally. It is attacking mentality, custom control possession. In possession, you got attacking width is fairly wide, play out of defense, passing directness is much shorter, tempo is slightly lower. Whip crosses, work the ball in the box, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, distribute to center back, and take short kicks. And then out of possession, high press line of engagement, much higher defensive line, prevent short keeper distribution, and trigger press much more often, and stop the crosses. Opposition instructions, absolutely nothing. Let's take a look at their schedules. Manchester United could see not too bad, spottier than we had seen with both the likes of Liverpool and Man City. However, overall, a good first half of the season, couple losses here and there. Brentford the win, Nottingham Forest a 2-0 win, so nothing too spectacular. And finishing out, I mean, they did have a big bad season right here. From Chelsea all the way down through Wolves. You got 2 wins, 3 wins here. Well, actually, you can start with Arsenal, 2-5 loss away from home. But wins in the EFL Cup semi-final first leg against West Ham. And then a win against Brentford, and that is it. Nottingham Forest 3-2 right there. Finishing out the season in better style, I will say a couple of draws here, but overall still better than we've seen in the past. The Man City draw, Southampton win to finish out the season 3-0. Not too bad. Brentford, on the other hand, well, actually, they do have a bunch of wins, and even including, I mean, here, friendlies. I don't understand why half the time on tactics, you see a bunch of friendlies during the World Cup time for these teams, and half the time you don't. It doesn't seem to make sense to me why they're doing some and not others. A horrific period from this West Ham game all the way down to Bournemouth. Not a win to be found, but you do have a couple wins in the beginning of the season. A loss to Wolves 4-1 to start out the season. Then you got, there you go. Then you got out these wins from Crystal Palace all the way down to the EFL Cup 4th round against Cheltenham. And then back to the losses, back to the draws. 3 wins in the entire second half of the season is absolutely awful, dreadful. This tactic might actually benefit from transfers. I did not look at the transfers with this one, so I don't know what they would do, but wins against Cheltenham in the EFL Cup 4th round, the FA Cup 3rd round against Morecambe, and then Everton 2-1 in the Prem. That is just insane. And I will say they're not losing by much. I mean, 1-4 is not good, but 1-2, a couple of draws, 1-1, 0-1, 0-1, 0-2 to Man City's not too bad. But overall, that second half of the season is beyond dreadful. And as we go to Nottingham Forest, their first half of the season is beyond dreadful. Wins against Bournemouth, Brentford, and then Everton. And that is it for that first half of the season. I mean, they did start out okay, 1-1 draw at home against Fulham, but finding their way a little bit, uh, kicking the crap out of Brentford 4-0 away from home. FA Cup third round replay 3-2 against Swansea. And then wins against Aston Villa and the FA Cup fourth round replay against Blackburn. They're having some issues with the replays. But only other ones, Everton 4-3 win away from home, and then a 3-0 win against Leicester at home, and that is it. That is a tough first and second half of the season for Nottingham Forest. So as you can see, just out of relegation zone and 17th in the Premier League. Friendly Cup, they won the third place playoff. I guess that's okay. Knocked out in the fifth round by QPR in the FA Cup. Knocked out in the second round by Leeds in the Carabao Cup. Brentford competitions. Getting relegated in that 18th spot, not good at all. FA Cup knocked out in the fifth round by Manchester City and knocked out in the quarters by Bolton Wanderers. Not a great team to get knocked out by, but you got to the quarters. I'll give you that. And then Manchester United, sixth place by a whopping 2 points in European spots. Manchester United find themselves in the top 6, so that's something. But knocked out in the round of 16 in the Europa League by Sporting. FA Cup knocked out in the fourth round by Chelsea. Carabao Cup runners up. Who do they beat, or who would they lose to? Brighton in penalties. So that's kind of a tough one. Probably with this tactic, you could have done better. And you could have probably beaten Brighton in this final of a cup to get a trophy of the season. So, okay, I guess. And if we look at the stats, most goals, Liverpool with 104, Manchester United all the way down with 50. So not very good at all there. Fewer shots against, Manchester United, not too bad. I'm not even going to worry about some of these. Fewest conceded, Manchester United tied for 5th on 40. Most shutouts, Manchester United in second with 18. So that is very good to see. Most tackles won, best passing completion. There you go. Manchester United with 90, Brentford and Nottingham Forest all up there as well. Most shots for, nobody, and most points per game, Manchester United with 6th, 1.63. And if we go to the player overviews, most goals, absolutely nobody in that list. Most assists, absolutely nobody in that list. And then most player of the match awards, David Raya at Brentford, 8 player of the match awards. And that is it. That is very weird to see, man. David De Gea, there you go with the 18. But that is very weird to see where you've got nobody in the most goals and most assists. David De Gea is the most valuable player, I would say, for this team. So as we finish off with the team stats alone, Cristiano Ronaldo with only 15 goals in all competitions. Highest average rating for Scott McTominay, it's 7-11. Most assists for Eriksen with 11. And most player in the match awards, 4 for Ronaldo, Casemiro, Jadon Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, and David De Gea. I'm actually surprised with 18 shutouts, David De Gea didn't get a lot more. But that is Manchester United season in a nutshell. And if we go to Brentford, 8 goals for Damsgaard. I don't know. But David Raya, 702 highest average rating. Most assists, Keane Lewis Potter with 7. And then most player in the match awards, David Raya with 8. And then if we finish off with Nottingham Forest, this one's going to hurt. Brennan Johnson with 10, so not too bad. Renan Lodi for 707. Most assists, Jesse Lingard with 7. And then most player of the match awards, Morgan Gibbs White with 4. Overall, this tactic did not work. I don't know if it's just the Spanish squad that it might have worked in. I have no idea. Again, A, it's in Spanish on the Steam Workshop. B, it doesn't say how they did. It just shows you the tactic. But overall, it didn't actually show what the outcomes were. Did they win the World Cup? Did they win any trophies, European Championship, or anything like that? So, no idea how this tactic did. Again, based off of just the picture and the fact that it was Luis Enrique, I had to try it. But that is it for me. 7FM for this tactic that really did not work well in the Premier League. So I would not even touch it. There are definitely ones better. But 7M for the Football Manager blog channel saying thank you so much for watching. Take care and enjoy.